Carrie from Stamp with CT. It is Wednesday, and that means Facebook Live Day. Give a little minute for notifications to go out to see if some friends are able to join me live. I think it takes just a minute. But in the meantime, if you're watching the replay, or if you're here for this part of the video, you probably are, so welcome. Glad you're here. And I do appreciate how many people watch the replay of my videos. That is, that's not usual. I think part of it is just when I have to do my live, or I'm not sure. I know a lot of people are at work, so I really appreciate those on the replay crew, and then of course I appreciate those that are here live with me as well. So I hope you'll say hello as you come on in. I was trying to find the video over on my computer, and it's just not working out. Oh, technology. Or it could be the technology's fine, it's just my brain. But I'm excited you're here. I sure was hoping to be able to see comments today, but maybe this is it. Hi, Debbie. And Cheryl's here. Welcome on in, guys. Thank you for being here. We are going to be creating a couple projects today. Don't have a sample to share with you, but this is a fun fold that we're making today called a double easel card, and it is a really cool card. So if you have ever made one before, let me know, or if you have not made one before, hopefully this will be inspiring to you. So I'm gonna grab, well, I meant to grab the catalog. I'm not sure where I set it. Anyway, we are going to make a couple of double easel cards with some really pretty products. And this one is called Florals in Bloom Suite, and it comes from our new annual catalog. And so we've been using some online exclusive floral paper and stamps over the past month or so, and have really enjoyed it. But now we're kind of shifting gears, and we're moving over to this other suite that we'll be focusing on this month. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a sneak peek here of what's coming for Finally Friday, our free online class this Friday night. And then we also have stamp class this month that will also be featuring these products. So I'm excited about these products. Another beautiful floral paper. We've gotten this confused a little bit, and my friend Karen, that's also a demonstrator in Florida, she has as well. So it's oh, I can't even think right now. Impressions of Bloom and Floral Impressions is the paper from the online exclusive that we've been using so much. And now this one is called Florals in Bloom, I believe. So kind of similar names, but we're gonna get there. And if it's okay if we mix it up a little bit, right? Because it all coordinates and goes together and just looks beautiful when you're done with your project. So this suite does have a couple of stamp die bundles. It's what I would consider a mega suite because it does have the 2 stamp die bundles. So this is one of them. Okay, and then we also, I'm running out of room already, we also have this one. And this one has both of the words lovely and bloom that you can die cut out. So we have done that before with some really pretty dies. I think they said wish. And so this is a really cool look on your projects, but we're not doing that today, but we will be in the classes in this month. And then I have a little bit, let's go ahead and talk about these textured notes dies as well. And I think I've misplaced one of them. You'll have to correct me, Cheryl, if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking there was one across here. It's here somewhere in this craft room. But we've been using these a good bit. This is part of a stamp die bundle from Online Exclusives, and these dies, I'll bring them a little closer. Hopefully that will pick up on camera, where you can see that it's got a lot of texture that embosses into the cardstock as you are cutting. So you get that dual effect, and these are just so pretty. So we have really started using those a good bit. And I do have 5 of the patterns of the paper. I couldn't find the other one, and then I realized that when I prepped the supplies, I used that piece to prep for the project. So these are just a couple of the patterns, and I'll go ahead and show you the other side. All of the in colors from last year and this year are represented in this paper, and then a couple additions like Gorgeous Grape. And like I said, the first project we make, so you can just see, I've used a lot of this paper, and I don't have any more left of the paper for the first project other than what we're going to be using today. And so that's okay. Just shows you how much I already love it. So let me grab a couple things that we're going to use for embellishments, and then we'll start creating. So with a double easel card, you need to start with a card base that is 11 by 4 1/4 and score it at 5 1/2. So just our standard top folding card base. And then I do have an inside panel I'm going to go ahead and include on the inside. And I ended up with a little skinny strip of paper, and this is just a scrap. One end is torn. I'm going to go ahead and add this, I think, to the inside, just to give it a little something something on the inside. I'll just put a little bit of glue and then add this strip. And when I do this on the inside white panel, I like to leave a little border. Now you can certainly bump it up all the way to the edge if that's what you like, but I just think that looks really cool. It makes it stand out a tiny bit more on my card base. So we'll give that just a second to dry. Then let me snip this off. Try not to cut into my cardstock. Dale was telling me the other day if I would put my snips at an angle that I wouldn't do that, but then I don't cut all of the DSP. So anyway, I'll just give it another little trim and we'll be fine. Okay, get rid of that debris. And so then we can go ahead and add our inside panel. And so this is just 5 1/4 by 4 inches, our standard, what we usually do anyway, inside panel. And y'all know I love using liquid glue so that I can have a little bit of time to zhuzh it. Straighten that up. Okay, so that's our card base. And then I'm pulling from the Designer Series paper, so let me go ahead as far as the colors. Let me show you which pattern of DSP I'm using on this card. This is just a beautiful, beautiful piece, and I struggle a little bit to make sure that I have it right side up. I think this is right. So anyway, it's got the Gorgeous Grape in it, and then your greens. It's just so pretty. So that is where I pull the colors for my card base. And then really kind of the ancillary card base, because now you've got a piece of Gorgeous Grape that is 10 1/4, and you score it at 2 1/2 and 5. And so then you fold it in half like you would normally do with the card base. Burnish that, and you fold it back on itself. And now this will get attached to our card front, and that's what stands up. So that's where our double easel comes in. But first, I think I want to go ahead and add my DSP to the front here. So this piece, nope, I got it upside down. This piece of paper, let me stop and think, is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I find sometimes when people make these double easels, because this folds up when it's all closed up. Sometimes people don't bring their DSP all the way down. I like to. I think it looks better if the DSP is all the way down. But, you know, you do you. And, you know, sometimes we may just have a pretty good sized scrap of DSP that we're wanting to use up. So no judgment there. That's just not what I typically do. So I'm going to go ahead and add this. And try to get my borders all equaled up. Isn't that beautiful? To me, this kind of mimics blue bonnets, which most of you probably know. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, so we love blue bonnets, don't we? They're such a beautiful flower. Now, this piece of DSP is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and I'm going to add it to the front. It just so happens that this is the B side of the paper that I'm featuring on the other part of the card, but it doesn't have to be. You can always use another piece of designer series paper that you just love. You could also take some cardstock and emboss it and put there, whatever you want to do. Okay, it's already pretty, isn't it? Because that paper, ooh, it is so beautiful. We've got a whole other kind of paper that we're going to be using this month that is also just gorgeous. So we'll add this to our card base. Try to get it all lined up. And now, once I let it dry for just a second, oops, didn't let it dry long enough, y'all. Let's try that again. I'm finding that as the weather gets a little bit warmer, it's taking my glue a tiny bit longer to dry. And I just need to chillax and give it a chance, don't I? I'm making a mess. We got this. And you can see that it's still really able to be manipulated and moved around. So that's what I like about liquid glue, but also what can be a struggle about liquid glue sometimes. So let me stop for just a minute, quit making a mess. We'll let that dry and we'll do a little bit of stamping. Okay. And move some stuff out of the way. So let me bring in my gorgeous grape. And I was going to show y'all when I went to pull this, it's so hard to find my gorgeous grape ink pad because that's what it looks like on the end. I've had it for so long and the weather, you know, the sun has just bleached it out. So it always takes me aback. I never think that that is my gorgeous grape ink pad. Kind of funny. So I've got that beautiful die cut, and we're going to stamp You Make Me Smile. Let me look right quick at something. Okay. I'll try to get this lined up. I did stamp one earlier just in case, through the magic of television. It is just so hard to get it all lined up with everything I've got above me, but we'll give it a try. And if it's not good, I've got one stamped. That actually, it would probably do because the font is a little bit forgiving. I really think the one I stamped earlier is a little bit better, so we'll go with that. But anyway, you know. Let me put that stamp over on the chamois. Let me put my finger in the ink pad. Move that out of the way. Then I just went ahead and cut a piece of gorgeous grape cardstock. to mount this sentiment on because, for one thing, I thought it looked a little bit lonely and lost on there like that. But I felt like having it matted with the gorgeous grape made it stand out a little bit more. So we're going to do that. I just cut it a little bit bigger than the die cut because the next die up is quite a bit bigger. And it was just a little bit too much for what I was needing it for. Again, we'll kind of center that up. Let that dry for a second. So you make me smile. And then while I'm letting that dry, I'm going to bring in this gold striped ribbon. It's one of our online exclusives. So for those, they are not in the catalog. So you just pop over to my online store at stampwithct.stampinup.net. And if you type in online exclusives or go up to the menu where it says online exclusives, it will take you there. And you can see all the beautiful product that we have that's not in a publication. And what I really like about that is that they are able to add new product a little bit more often by utilizing that online store that way. Okay, I am going to use a glue dot to add this ribbon. So let me go ahead and put it on one right quick so I don't lose it. And I think that that's probably enough time for things to have dried. Now I can show you how this stands up. So I'll bring it over to the side where you can see all the different layers there. And when you stand it up and display it, just so cool, isn't it? Double easel fold is what that's called. And I'm going to put this on here, but the way that I want to do that is add it with dimensionals. So let's bring some dimensionals right across the top here. Alrighty. And then we'll see if we can get this lined up nicely. I think that looks pretty good. We can bring in our pretty bow. And I have to decide if I want it down at the bottom, up at the top. Maybe up at the top there would be pretty. I need to move it over just a tiny bit. And y'all hang with me for a little bit longer. We're going to make another card using this fold and all these products from this suite in just a moment. That bow is not wanting to cooperate. Hold on, I don't like that bow. Hold please. Let's try that again. I don't know what happened, but that bow, I'll salvage it later, but for now, I'm just going to make a different bow. I've found that this ribbon, when I've seen it on projects or used it on projects, it kind of tends to pick up the colors around it. Just the shine in the texture of it, which is really cool. Like to the point that one day I thought maybe someone used a marker to color it, and it was just the fact that it was on a blue cardstock, which was really, really cool, y'all. Okay, where did I put those glue dots? Let's try this again. Like I said, I can salvage that other guy later, but not on camera. Okay, I think that one's better. Yes, much, much better. And that may be a little bit wonky. Let me see if I can tell this way. Maybe a little bit, but I'll fix it. I'll fix it later. Or maybe now. Okay. The other thing I want to use on this card is called the holographic gems. And these also, very shiny, very pretty, and they tend to pick up on the color that's around them. So let's sprinkle a couple of these on too. They come in, 3 different sizes, and they are just so lovely. Really, really pretty. So sparkly. I had a customer that placed an order the other day, and I tucked these in with her order because that will be a nice surprise, I figured. These are also in the online exclusives. They're so, so pretty. All right. So that is our first. That is just really not straight, is it, y'all? Let me bring it over here. No, it's not straight at all. I'll work on it in a minute. Not going to stress about it. The point is making this beautiful fold. All right, let's work on another one. We'll put that one aside and let's work on another one. And we've got a lot of similar products here to work on this next card. Same card base with the Shy Shamrock. I think I told you earlier that was Shy Shamrock, 11 by 4 1/4. And on this inside panel, I want to do some stamping. So let me do that right quick. And I'm looking because I've already got a sentiment, yes, stamped in Strawberry Slush. So we're going to just go with that. But there is a little flower stamp in one of the sets. Cute little flowers. And I thought that would be really cute, stamped on the inside. But we're going to try something. Because it's a little grouping of flowers. And if this doesn't work, I'll just flip it over and we'll do something else. But I want to bring this right across the edge. I think it's going to work, y'all. Almost like a little frame. Well, it is like a little frame. A little flower stamp. We'll put it on in just a second and I'll see what you think. So instead of using a little strip of designer series paper to decorate my inside, I just stamped the little flowers in the corners. I think it's cute. Just an idea that came to me. Something a little different. Y'all know I don't typically stamp on the inside of my cards because I write really big. But every once in a while, I just want to. And I know some people love stamping the inside sentiments. So you, again, you do you when you're making your double easel card. All right, so this time, I have a little bit different piece of designer series paper. I hope I haven't lost my other piece. There it is. And we're using a Strawberry Slush. Isn't that a beautiful color combo? And again, we're pulling from the designer series paper. It's telling me what my color combos will be. And I already know then it'll be awesome. So 10 1/4 by 4. And then it's scored at 5 1/2 and 2 1/2. So it makes my easel for me. And we'll go ahead. This one's a little bit easier to tell, top from bottom. And it's just a very different look with this piece of designer series paper. I feel like, you know, just a lot brighter, but still beautiful. And what I love is every single paper in this pack, you could do this exact card with, which would make an absolutely fabulous set of cards that you could gift to someone. I really like doing that, making card sets that I can gift. People love receiving them too. I was going to tell you, you can decorate this flap as well. I'm just not. And then again, this is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. This little piece of designer series paper that we're going to add right down here. So to me, that first project is really pretty. And then this one is just a little bit more fun, a little bit more brighter colors. And then we've got our frame inside. I like that. Let me know what you think of that. All right. Flip this whole thing over, and I find, poor little Oliver, he's down there snoring. I find I do better if I have it turned on its side like this to get everything lined up. Isn't that pretty though? The Gorgeous Grape and Shy Shamrock is amazing, but so is Strawberry Slush and Shy Shamrock. So pretty. Got another little piece of cardstock that I'm going to match my sentiment with. And hopefully I'll do a little bit better job of getting it lined up this time. We'll see. Let that dry for just a second. Find my dimensionals. You know, you get 300 dimensionals in a package. And you can use the edges, which I like to call the bones. So that is really awesome, because when you get done, all you have is just that little waxy paper left. Really awesome. Hopefully I can do a little bit better job of getting this one centered up. We'll see. Nope, I think I did the same thing. I wish I had your vantage point when I'm adding stuff like that. That would help. And it may be that my sentiment is a little bit crooked. That could be it. Again, I'll judge it once I get done with the video and get it all fixed up. Sometimes Dale comes in from work shortly after my video is over, and sometimes I know he's thinking, what did she do? It's kind of funny. I say I'm going to quit judging with them, and then I mess with them, don't I? Okay, we'll set that one aside. Let's put a cute little bow on this one as well. And I went ahead and grabbed my Strawberry Slush ribbon. And this one is called a faux linen ribbon. It's got a little texture to it. Is that right? That looks like I may have grabbed Timid Tiger. I did. Let me get the Strawberry Slush. I have a basket of ribbon over here. Grab the wrong one. Of course, it's the last one I picked up, right? Okay, so I like to use a dimensional on the end of my ribbon to hold that so I don't have a big mess of ribbon in my box. I know there's lots of different ways to do that, but that's just what I like to do. Now, I will tell you on this ribbon, it ties really well. I think it makes a beautiful bow, but what we have found is then it doesn't want to really stick to my projects with glue dots, which is what I would typically use to add a bow. So I have found that using Stampin' Seal Plus has helped. Now I hope I can find my Stampin' Seal Plus right quick. So I did kind of forget about that. So what I'll do, turn it this way. Put just a little bit of tiny bit of Stampin' Seal Plus there. And that way when I add my bow, it should stick on there. I may need to add it up just a tiny bit. Kind of put it over to the side. Yeah, I'll have to work on that so that my full sentiment shows. And then we're going to come in with some of the beautiful in color dots, and I'm having to open up a new package because I have used all of my strawberry slush dots from a couple of other packages. So let's get a new one. Strawberry slush is just so beautiful. Oh, that's going to show up really nicely. Now let's go right there with that guy. Okie doke. Okay, so that is our other double easel fold card. So again, you've got that same, it'll stand up and you can display it. I just think that's so fun to show off your beautiful designer series paper like that. Okay, let me share with you that we do have Finally Friday, our free online class this Friday, just a couple days from now. And it is at 5 p.m. Central Time. And we will be creating 6 cards, 2 each of 3 designs. And we'll be using this designer series paper, these stamp sets. So looking forward to that. And it's just a free online class. You're welcome to join us. We would love that. And then I wanted to show you some happy mail that I received. This beautiful card is from my friend Karen, and I absolutely love it. Isn't that pretty? Just a gorgeous card. And inside she included a little surprise, and it is something that I just learned about. It's so funny. Karen and I are, it's almost like we can read each other's minds sometimes. Because I just learned about something called hidden paper clips, and that's what she made, and I was so excited to learn how to make them. I found a tutorial kind of by accident, and I was really excited about them, and then hers came, and they're way cuter than the tutorial that I found, y'all. So this is what it looks like, and when I pulled them out of the envelope, Dale said, look at this cute little bookmark. I said, oh, I know what that is. That's a hidden paper clip. So the paper clip is underneath this paper. So you're able to add it like to a book. I'm going to put these in my catalog, I think, because it's just going to make my catalog look even prettier. But you can add it to a book. This would be really nice in your Bible, I think, to mark your place. And just any book that you're reading, just to add a little bit of beauty along with gaining some knowledge by reading, or creativity by flipping through your catalog. So isn't that cool? Those are called hidden paper clips, and Karen, I love them. Thank you so much. I think that that is all that I have for you today. I think that's all the announcements and everything. No, it is not. No, it's not. We do have a sale going on, and I don't want to forget to tell you about this. So Stampin' Up! Has a sweet sale going on, and it's S-U-I-T-E. It is a sweet S-W-E-E-T sale as well, because it's a great, great deal. So any items that are in a suite in the catalog or in the online store, suites themselves, suite collections, if you buy one, you can get one for half price, and that applies to the components to the suite as well. So I'm going to give you a couple examples because I know there has been a little bit of confusion about this, and what's awesome is when you're shopping and you place things in your cart in the online store, it automatically does this for you, so you don't have to stop and think about it. But let's say there's 2 suite collections that you have on your list. You know, a lot of them range anywhere between $75-ish on up. Some of them are like $130. But let's say you have a couple that are between $75, $80. You can buy one of them, put one of those in your cart, and then when you put the second one in your cart, you get that at half price, and that's all through the month of June. This just started a day or 2 ago. All through the month of June we can do this. Now let's say you don't need everything in the suite collection, but you have a couple of packages of designer series paper that you have fallen in love with. Well, then you can, as long as they're part of a suite, either online or in the catalog, you can add one designer series paper, the second one would be half price. Even if you want the designer series paper, or let's say you want the bundle, the stamps and dies, and you put those in your cart and you want the paper too, when you add the paper, it would be half price. So it's the least expensive item that becomes half price. What a fabulous sale, you guys. So if you have a big wish list with this new catalog, these new online exclusives, this is a great way to extend your crafting dollar by taking part in this sale. And you can go over to my website at stampwithct.stampinup.net and you can see the suite collections. Again, when you go to the menu, you're actually able to go over to suite. I think it says shop suite products, and you can see that. So I think it's a great deal. Okay, I'm so glad to have a little bit of time with you today. Hope you enjoyed learning how to make a double easel card, or maybe it just refreshed your memory. It had been a while since I made one. I always love being able to spend a little bit of time crafting with you, and can't wait to see you again this Friday night for a Finally Friday free online class. Dale and I will be here. Talk to you soon.